The Lord be with you. Reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. The scribes and Pharisees said to Jesus, "The disciples of John the Baptist fast often and offer prayers. The disciples of the Pharisees do the same. But yours eat and drink." Jesus answered them, "Can you make the wedding guests fast while the bridegroom is with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them. Then they will fast in those days." And he also told them a parable. "No one tears a piece from a new cloak to patch an old one. Otherwise, he will tear the new, and the piece from it will not match the old cloak. Likewise, no one pours new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the new wine will burst the skins, and it will be spilled, and the skins will be ruined. Rather, new wine must be poured into fresh skins. And no one who has been drinking old wine desires new, for he says, 'The old is good.'" The Gospel of the Lord. Please be seated. I will be speaking about fasting just a little bit later, but I'd like to speak about our Holy Father, Pope Francis, the head of the Church, and the successor of Peter. He has a tremendous responsibility and a tremendous ministry in the Church. And every Sunday, he gives a very special address at the Angelus prayer at noontime. They do the Angelus. And I'd like to read to you a little bit from that address. He says, "Dear brothers and sisters, hello. Today, dear brothers and sisters, I wish to add my voice to the cry which rises up with increasing anguish from every part of the world, from every people, from the heart of each person, from the one great family which is humanity. It is a cry for peace. It is a cry which declares with force, we want a peaceful world. We want to be men and women of peace. And we want in our society, torn apart by divisions and conflict, that peace break out. War, never again war. Peace is a precious gift which must be promoted and protected." Peace is a precious gift which must be promoted and must be protected. And he says, "I appeal strongly for peace, an appeal which arises from deep within me. How much suffering, how much devastation, how much pain has the use of arms carried in its wake in that martyred country, especially among civilians and the unarmed. I think of many children who will not see the light of the future. With utmost firmness, I condemn the use of chemical weapons. I tell you that those terrible images from recent days are burned into my heart and mind. There is a judgment of God and of history upon our actions which are inescapable. Never has the use of violence brought peace in its wake. War begets war, violence begets violence." Of course, he's speaking about Syria. And of course, the whole world is focused on Syria at this time, especially our world, the United States. Congress has decided whether the president should go to war or not go to war with Syria. And he goes on in his message. He says, "To this end, brothers and sisters, I have decided to proclaim for the whole church, on September 7th next, the vigil of the birth of Mary." That's this coming Saturday. A day of fasting and prayer for peace in Syria, the Middle East, and throughout the world. And I also invite each person, including our fellow Christians, followers of other religions, and all men of goodwill, to participate in whatever way they can in this initiative. So our Holy Father is calling for a day of fasting and prayer. That's coming Saturday. And I'd like to speak about fasting very shortly. But we're encouraging that everyone in our parish community, in our school community, fast. And I'd like to say a few words here now about fasting and what it is. As Mr. Martin indicated, there are times that the church fasts during Lent especially, on Ash Wednesday and on Good Friday. Those are days of fasting and abstaining. The other Fridays during Lent are simply days of abstaining from meat. But otherwise, on Ash Wednesday and Good Friday, it's a day of fasting. Now that's not really a great big demand. It's very simple, only 2 days out of the year basically we fast. And what is a fast? Well, fasting is the voluntary avoidance of something that is good. When Catholics talk about fasting, we normally mean restricting the food that we eat, limiting the food that we eat. We can fast between meals by not eating snacks, or we can engage in a complete fast by abstaining from all food. The English word, this is interesting, the English word breakfast, breakfast, in fact, means the meal that breaks the fast. Breakfast in the morning breaks the fast. Interesting. While fasting takes the form of refraining from eating, it is primarily a spiritual discipline. That's what fasting is. Primarily a spiritual discipline, designed to tame the body so that we can concentrate on higher things. So, God knows our bodies need to be tamed. That is why fasting is usually mentioned along with prayer and almsgiving. By controlling the passions of the body, we free our souls for prayer. By refraining from eating, we free up food or money that we can give to those less fortunate than we are. The 3 spiritual disciplines go hand in hand. The Church calls us to practice all 3 together. So that's fasting, prayer, and almsgiving. Those 3 are very important. Anyway, our Holy Father is calling for a day of fast on Saturday because, of course, of the situation of the world, because we're on the verge of war. He's not happy about that at all, and he's discouraging it. He hopes, of course, that we can find a diplomatic and political way to settle these issues. He doesn't want more killing, more dead people. So far, the war in Syria, the civil war in Syria, over 110,000 people have died, and over 1,000 have been killed with gas, with chemical weapons. And so it's a challenging time for us. It's a difficult time, and I would encourage teachers that you talk to your students about the situation. Share opinions. And see if you have some solutions. Other solutions besides war. Why must we always turn to war? Our country has been at war now for over 12 years in the Middle East. And our soldiers are tired, and their families are tired. And America is tired. And it's cost us trillions of dollars. Trillions of dollars. That's not an exaggeration. And now again, another conflict arising in that same part of the world. And so we need to do all we can. And the best that we can do, really, that we can do is pray. Prayer is very powerful. And Sunday, September 8th, is the birth of the Virgin Mary. And Maryknoll, Mary is the patron of this school. And so we should turn to our Blessed Mother, ask for her intercession, ask for her help. She's the patroness of our diocese. Our cathedral is named after her, Our Lady, Queen of Peace. And so we should work hard at working for peace. It's not an option for those of us who are Christians. So let's do the best that we can. Let's try our best to observe a fast. That's simply 1 full meal with 2 other smaller meals on Saturday. That's not asking a whole lot. Let's also pray. and ask for God's help and God's mercy, that peace may prevail in this very difficult situation, and that war may be avoided. I'm sorry that this has to be the message on the birthday of this school, the anniversary of Maryknoll. But as I said, you know, the Maryknoll fathers and brothers and the Maryknoll sisters have long advocated justice and peace, and in different lands, in foreign lands. And so we're just carrying on another great tradition. But anyway, let's do the best we can. Let's also enjoy today, this birthday of our school, 86 years now. How wonderful that is. It's yes.